Hey, good morning, everyone. This is Dan chatting with you again this morning, and yeah, I'm hoping some of you will join again today. I've set this up again as hopefully a bit of an interactive thing, and I am primarily in Hebrews 19 through 30. Sorry, Hebrews 10, 19 through 39 this morning, and oh boy, it's really speaking to me, and I'll share that with you a little bit. I've already spent some time working and online, doing some counseling sessions and things of that nature this morning. And one thing that was pointed out to me that I thought I would share and have a laugh with you all about was that someone said to me that I looked like I was tired and maybe I needed some rest. And I have to say, initially my response to that was sort of, at least internally, sort of defensive and feeling like, man, I don't think I look too bad. I feel like I'm doing pretty well in terms of rest and trying to take care of myself. Um, but then as I thought it through in the hours that followed, I guess I'm feeling okay with the fact that yes, I am tired. Yes, I continue to work and try and work pretty hard. And I think that's part of faith in times like this where we are being tested and tried. I'm not interested in laying down or laying back or sitting back. I'm trying to see the opportunity and to engage God and others in the community. And even doing things like this video, which is way outside of my comfort zone, it's something is happening here. I hope for you, but definitely for me. So this has been a good and very much a growing experience for me. So with that being said, let me read to you some encouraging words from our God. I'm going to start here, Hebrews 10:21, and I'm in the New Living Translation. And since we have a great high priest who rules over God's house, let us go right into the presence of God with sincere hearts, fully trusting him. For our guilty consciences have been sprinkled with Christ's blood to make us clean, and our bodies have been washed with pure water. Let us hold tightly without wavering to the hope we affirm, for God can be trusted to keep his promise. Let us think of ways to motivate one another to acts of love and good works. And let us not neglect our meeting together, as some people do, but encourage one another, especially now that the day of his return is drawing near. Man, I love that final piece. Let us think of ways to motivate one another to acts of love and good works. Let us not neglect our meeting together, as some people do, but to encourage one another. And this is a beautiful image of the church. But even right now, with what we are doing with our time, how we're spending our time, are we encouraging one another? Are we being ambitious in the way that we look for ways to do good works? So yeah, being tired and pursuing those things is going to be difficult. It's supposed to be. Now I will say that the verses that follow here, as we get into 26 through 31, are a little bit heavier, right? Because it starts to address. In fact, it begins this way: if we deliberately continue sinning after we have received knowledge of the truth, there is no longer any sacrifice that will cover these sins. So it starts to almost feel like, oh no, like maybe God is saying that we really need to be perfect. We need to be completely sin-free and totally righteous in the way that we live and in the way that we think and in the way that we treat one another. But these are just a few verses that are, I think, trying to convict us of the gravity of what Jesus has done and what he's given and what he's provided. So instead of looking at it that way, we need to continue reading on and understand that we're being called into something greater. Shooting down now to 31, or rather 32, Hebrews 10:32. Think back on those early days when you first learned about Christ. Remember how you remained faithful, even though it meant terrible suffering. 35. So do not throw away this confident trust in the Lord. Remember the great reward it brings you. Patient endurance is what you need now. Patient endurance is what you need now, so that you will continue to do God's will. Then you will receive all that he has promised. So we are striving. We are in a time of growth and sanctification right now. There is a lot of goodness to be seen, even in these times, and the things that are going on. There is a lot of goodness to see. There's a lot of good to be done. Let's take this opportunity to encourage one another, to pursue one another in that. Let's build one another up. That is where, it's interesting. I read a lot of, not a lot, but a fair amount of articles and some books around leadership and what healthy leadership looks like. And some of these are even secular concepts, but this idea that true leadership is coming alongside people, encouraging them and recognizing the gifts that they have and building upon those, not trying to turn people into the people that will do what's best for us or our organizations, but looking to them, and this is true in our families as well, looking to each individual and saying, man, this person is really unique and has some very unique gifts and qualities that could really be utilized in God's kingdom in an amazing, amazing way. Help me, Lord, not to get in the way of those things, but to encourage that person in the unique gifts that they have. This is a very sanctifying work, and it's a very humbling work to do, because through our leadership capabilities, and we all have them, we are letting go of our own expectations, the things we see from our own human eyes, and instead replacing them with the hope that God has for them and the vision that God has for them through those unique gifts. So not a lot of you interacting today, a couple of likes and whatnot, but I might have actually set this up differently. So I'm at almost the 8-minute mark. I'm going to call it good for today. I don't want these things to go on too long. You'll get sick of me. But be blessed. Enjoy Hebrews 10 today. It's a great reading. It's really encouraging. And stay in touch. Let me know how I can pray for you, how I can encourage you. God's going to do great things. Pursue him in that. I really believe that. See you guys tomorrow.